Have you ever built a Power App and thought, man, this feels kinda static? Like a digital form that just sits there and doesn't do much. Well, today, we're gonna crack the code on how to make your app smart, responsive, and truly dynamic. We are talking about Power Apps formulas, the actual brain behind your entire application.
All right, let's just jump right in. If you've ever so much as touched Excel, then you're already halfway there. You get the basic idea. But Power Apps takes that concept and just supercharges it. It's really like going from a basic calculator to a full-blown supercomputer. See, these formulas don't just add up numbers. They make your app come alive, reacting to what users do, changing what's on the screen, and pulling in data in real time. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to cover the why, what these formulas really are. Then we'll pop open the hood and look at the core building blocks you'll use all the time. After that, and this is the really cool part, we'll dive into a powerful, real-world example that will completely change how you build your apps. We'll also tackle a super common problem you've probably already run into. And finally, I'll give you the secrets to mastering the massive Power Apps function library without getting overwhelmed. Okay, first things first. Let's really get our heads around this idea of formulas being your app's brain. And I'm not just talking about doing math. This is about the logic, the intelligence, the part of your app that thinks and makes decisions. It's what turns a bunch of static screens into a living, breathing tool.
So what is a formula, really? At its heart, it's just a set of instructions. It's a specific recipe of functions, operators, and values that tells your app exactly what to do next. Whether it's calculating a final price or changing a button's color when you click it, the formula is the engine that's making it all happen. Now, you might be looking at some of these formulas and thinking, whoa, that looks incredibly complicated. But here's the secret. Every single one, no matter how crazy it looks, is built from just a handful of simple components. So let's open up the toolkit and see what's inside. I want you to think of these as the Lego bricks for your app. First up, you've got your functions. These are your action words, your verbs, like square root that calculates a square root. Then you have signals, which are super cool. They listen to the environment, giving you info like the phone's location. Enumerations are just your preset constant values, like color.red. Easy enough. And finally, named operators, like the famous this item, let you point to a specific piece of data in a gallery or a list. And believe it or not, with just these 4 types of bricks, you can build just about anything. Okay, enough theory. Let's see how these blocks snap together to create some actual magic. We're going to look at one of the single most powerful properties in all of Power Apps. It's called OnStart. This is where you can create an amazing personalized experience for your users from the very second they open your app. The real magic of OnStart is all about timing. These formulas run before your user even sees the welcome screen. It's like having a backstage crew that perfectly sets the stage, adjusts the lighting, and lays out the props before the curtain even goes up. So when your user arrives, everything is already perfectly tailored just for them. So, picture this. We're building an app for our team. The moment someone opens it, we want 3 things to happen automatically, behind the scenes. First, we need to know who they are. Second, we want to load their personal settings, like maybe a dark mode theme. And third, we need to figure out if they're an admin so we can show or hide certain controls. Step 1 is just so elegant. The user function is basically your app asking, hey, who's using me right now? Then the set function takes all that info, their name, their email, and stores it in a little temporary box called a variable, which we've named current user. Now we have the user's info ready to go, and we can use it anywhere in the app. And just like that, with one single line, our app goes from being a generic tool to a personal assistant. It knows who it's talking to. We can say, welcome back, Sarah, or show their profile picture in the corner. The whole experience is instantly customized. Okay, step 2, loading their preferences. Here, the filter function acts like a search engine. It zips through our big list of user preferences and finds the one row that matches our current user's email. Then, ClearCollect grabs those settings and puts them into a special temporary table called a collection. Think of it like creating a personalized cheat sheet for the app to reference. And what's the results? A totally custom experience. If the user likes a dark theme, boom, the app opens in dark mode. If they prefer a compact view for their lists, the app adjusts on the fly. It feels like the app actually remembers them, which is a fantastic user experience. All right, for our last trick, the admin check. Now, this formula looks a little scary, but let's walk through it. It's actually pretty simple. Inside out, Lookup scans our admins list for the user's email. If it finds a match, great.
If not, it finds nothing. The IsBlank function then asks, did we find nothing? If we found a match, the answer is no, so IsBlank gives us false. But that exclamation point at the start, that's the not operator. It flips the result, so not false becomes true. We then store that true value in our add_isMen variable. And here is the payoff. With that one little formula, our app is now rule-aware. We can write simple rules on our buttons like, hey, only show the admin settings button if that asAdmin variable is true. This lets us build one app that provides a secure, perfectly tailored experience for every single person who uses it. Okay, that was a pretty deep dive into a powerful multi-step process. So now let's zoom back out and see how a single, super simple function can solve a nagging problem you will run into all the time. You've all seen this, right? You have a drop-down menu with a list of locations or categories or whatever, but they're just jumbled. They're in whatever random order they were entered into the data source. It forces your users to scan up and down the list, and it just looks messy. So how do we fix this? The fix is one beautiful, simple function, sort. That's it. You just take the original formula you had, the one using choices to get the list of locations, and you literally just wrap the sort function around it. The value part at the end just tells it, hey, sort these alphabetically. It's that easy. And there you have it, a perfectly alphabetized list. It instantly makes your app feel cleaner, more professional, and way easier to use. This is a perfect example of how knowing just one more function in your toolkit can make a huge difference for your users. So we've seen the building blocks, we've put them into practice to do some really powerful stuff. For this last section, let's talk about how you can keep learning and become a true master of the huge toolkit of functions that Power Apps gives you. Okay, I'm going to show you a number that might seem a little intimidating. At last count, there are over 210 different functions available in Power Apps, and that number just keeps growing. Looking at that is like someone handing you a dictionary and telling you to memorize it. It's overwhelming. But here is the secret that every single pro knows. You absolutely do not need to memorize them all. Nobody does. It's not about memorization. It's about knowing how to find what you're looking for. You need to think of it like a giant toolbox in your garage. You don't know the name of every single socket, but you know that when you have a bolt, you need to find a wrench that fits. And to help you on your journey, here are a few pro tips. First, always start simple. Don't try to build a 10-line nested formula on day one. Second, test as you go. Add one small piece of logic, test it, then add the next. It will save you so many headaches. Third, use those variables we talked about. They make your app faster and your formulas easier to read. And finally, make the official Microsoft documentation your best friend. It's always up to date and it is packed with great examples. So there you have it. We've gone from the basic building blocks all the way to creating a sophisticated, personalized app experience. You now have the keys to unlock the real power of your apps. This language of formulas is no longer a scary barrier. It's your canvas. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?